Hey everybody, welcome to Ticket Stubs and Popcorn. I'm Peter.
And I'm Frank. How's it going? Peter?
I'm doing great.
You doing all right?
How you doing,
Doing
Frank?
all right.
I worry about you.
Do you? I worry about me too. You should all worry about me. I am right on the edge.
All righty.
Oh,
today,
yeah. What are we doing today? I know what we're doing today.
Today's featured performer is a director. We have a director today.
Director spotlight today.
Ivan Reitman.
Yeah.
Who unfortunately we lost.
He recently passed, so that's
about
a damn shame.
so
yeah,
ago.
So we better
Reitman.
be really careful about who we take out of the bucket.
I was going to say, I'll try not to. There was like no connection.
Seriously.
We hope there's no connection with that.
Yeah, seriously. Because if there is a connection, I got some names to put into the bucket.
Ooh, wow.
Actually, no, I don't have names to put in the bucket. Just
Took
one.
a dark twist.
Just one. So, which actually, this is good. Dark twist. It sort of feeds into the question that I have today. A movie that could, with just the slightest little tweak, be a horror movie.
Oh, an
like a movie that exists.
Okay.
That might be more lighthearted fare or something like that, but just with like the slightest tweak, could be a horror movie.
Okay.
All right. So like that turn. See, I did that on purpose for the dark turn thing.
Wow.
I have an agenda. Anyways, so why don't you start off with?
Okay. Let me start with Ivan Reitman.
Yeah.
I'm going to try to think about that other one.
You can think about more than one thing at a time.
No,
I'm
actually,
sure.
you don't. It's
No?
a vast cavern of just emptiness up there.
Right.
You got it. One thing was, ooh, look at that puppy tail. It's not good. So Ivan Reitman.
Yeah.
Wonderful. I'm going to say right off the bat, first one that on my list, just first one that comes to mind, even though he's got a bunch, Stripes.
Yeah.
I have always enjoyed this movie. Ivan Reitman had some success with Meatballs by using Bill Murray. And that's probably like the first, other than TV, other than SNL. That was like the first time I think we saw Bill Murray in a movie. And he has the lead in Meatballs. But in Stripes, it gets a little more rounded out, not just his character, but he has a little more support in Stripes. In Harold Ramis for one, and then a couple of other minor ones. John Candy shows up, and a few others. But in this movie, I think Ivan Reitman is able to take some something that I guess on the surface you would say, oh, it's going to be a serious movie. Two guys join the army and they're gonna and they're gonna. It's not the draft is over, so it's not like they get these two guys were just bored with life, and they figure they're gonna do something bold to just kind of like invigorate what their doldrums, and they're gonna do something, and they're gonna join the army. Anyway, so this is it is as you can probably tell with Ivan Reitman on one side and Bill Murray and Harold Ramis. This is a comedy. This is not serious.
Oh God!
And it's just wonderful. Warren Oates is in this one. Sergeant Hulka. It's great that
John Candy.
He's able to move these pieces around and have fun with it. Have a story that is going on to make you say, oh, they have to deal with this problem, or a couple of problems, but there is a bigger problem, definitely.
Let's be honest, they themselves are the problem. And they cause the problem.
Yeah, definitely. And it's just fun. It's fun to see a director, although we don't see him, obviously, he's on the other side of the camera. It's fun to see a director develop. And if you see Meatballs, which is fine. It's a great, funny little first effort. But when or one of his first efforts, if it's not, and to see Stripes, which is a much more well-rounded movie, and it's always a joy when you do see somebody develop. And in this case, as a director, we see it. Stripes, to me, is that first, like, just, really big movie. And he's able to use a lot of characters in it and direct them all well. Because, like I said, in Meatballs, there's really just Bill Murray kind of bouncing off other people and not,
It was the Van Wilder of 1979 or something.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. And I'm gonna jump to. It's still comedy, but it's what I love about Ivan Reitman in this movie, Twins, is that he's able to take one of the most established action heroes, and whether or not you could say, Arnold Schwarzenegger is limited.
Oh, you're talking about Arnold Schwarzenegger. I was thinking Danny DeVito.
Yeah, Arnold. Exactly.
He's
up there. He's up there.
Yeah, he's been a Batman villain.
Yeah. When you have a persona like Arnold Schwarzenegger, which he brings to 99% of his movies, is he's the action hero. Sometimes one-dimensional.
Yeah.
He's very good at what he does, but it's still one-dimensional. And in this one, Ivan Reitman is able to get something more out of him. He does it again with Junior, where he uses Arnold Schwarzenegger again. And Arnold, actually, I think, is a better actor in Junior than he is in Twins. But the fact that he's able to get so much out of Arnold Schwarzenegger, Danny DeVito, and let's face it, at this point, Danny DeVito is strictly snarky one-line comedy.
Yeah.
That's what he was doing. And he's able to develop him into a better, more well-rounded character. And he's able to get some nice performances
out of him. Yeah.
Which I think is the telltale sign of a great director, is that you have, at this point, two established and completely different genres, these two actors, and he's able to make this into a very workable, funny movie. Is it the greatest movie in the world? No, it's not.
Well,
but it's fun.
What it is,
exactly. It's silly, and if you haven't seen Twins, the premise is that these two completely, disparate characters are twin brothers.
But to look at Danny DeVito and Arnold Schwarzenegger and think twins, that's just, it's visually hilarious.
Yeah.
So, and they're in, hilarity ensues.
You got it. Yeah. And the other funny thing is that they cast Arnold as the sensitive.
Yeah.
Twin.
He wants a brother. He's psyched to have a brother.
Yeah.
He's so excited. Danny DeVito's like, all right, what's in this for me?
Exactly. And it takes the Danny DeVito a while to trust anybody.
Yeah.
And to believe the story that he's presented with.
Right.
Because the Arnold character finds out, Julius or whatever his name is, he finds out from the man who's raised him what the real story is. So Arnold has information, and when he seeks out his brother, Danny DeVito doesn't really have inside information other than what Arnold is telling him, and because of Danny DeVito's character, can he even trust anybody? Let alone forget about Arnold. Can he trust anybody? And so I like that, and I think it's a great little movie done by Ivan Reitman.
What's your next?
It's probably one of, if not his biggest picture, and that's Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters.
You ever heard of that one?
I have. Yeah, quite good.
Bustin' makes me feel good.
Ew. Gross.
What? Hello.
That was disgusting.
Don't blame me. Blame Ray Parker Jr.
I do. For most
for
everything.
for a lot of things.
For a lot of things.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Garbage pickup was late yesterday.
Damn
that Ray Parker Jr.
If we didn't have the supply chain to blame for stuff, it would all be. You know what? I blame the supply chain.
I think that's
issues
on Ray Parker Jr.
Jr.
Which is probably the most we've heard Ray Parker Jr.'s name used.
Seriously,
in a few
I'm actually going. We'll put in the notes. We'll hashtag Ray Parker,
Ray Parker
Jr.
Jr.
And he'll be like, "I'm trending." I got news for you, Ray. You ain't trending from us because we barely get some trend. So anyway,
wow.
Right?
Okay,
Well,
so I'm going with
Ghostbusters.
Ivan Reitman's movie Ghostbusters. Wonderful. This one he gets to. This one is bigger, splashier than the movie. I mean, there's a lot going on. Great special effects, and now he's got even more people, like that he's really directing on this one.
Oh yeah,
he's got more personalities and stuff, and this movie has now probably had 3, maybe 4. Either remakes, reboots,
sequels. It just recently had
sort of
a sequel
and,
that I didn't see yet.
It has staying power. It's in the national zeitgeist, whatever you want to call it. It's there.
Yeah, that was a big summer when
it's
that
a
movie came out.
cultural.
It's huge.
Yeah, it's a cultural milestone for a lot of people, and it's wonderful, and it's tough to develop that suspense that's going to keep humor and, in this case, science fiction and just a lot of good special effects at the time, a lot of good special effects and good acting and good actors all together. And he does it.
It's fantastic. It's funny.
It's a deft hand that's working all these things, and that's credit to Ivan Reitman.
All right. I'm going to go with a more recent one. I love this movie, and I'm not quite sure why. I think it's just because there's a lot of big silliness that goes on in it. My Super Ex-Girlfriend.
Yeah, I know.
There's so much.
That was actually number 4 on my list.
Right, there are going to be folks out there to be like, really? Oh my god!
It's
fun. And one of the things that cracks me up the most about this movie, and it's just so. It's a funny premise, and it came out at a time. It was before like the whole MCU. You can't do a superhero movie now that isn't somehow tied
either
in
DC or
to
Marvel
other stuff. Exactly.
It's got to,
So back before in the olden times, before Iron Man, and there were just a few Spider-Man movies scattered about. An original take on a superhero movie was kind of fun, and this was hilarious.
It's definitely plausible within that weird universe that we sometimes visit.
It was great, and it's creative, and she throws a shark at him.
Exactly.
And I love that. That's just absolutely fantastic. And I love it, and it's one of those things. Just like, wow, Ivan Reitman, man, he's been around for a while. Is he still relevant? Does his comedy still work? And it does. I think it did.
Definitely does.
I just definitely think it did. So
I enjoy that.
My Super Ex-Girlfriend.
Matter of fact, I think we both picked
do we
that
pick
as
that
one
one
of our
we did
top
for
3
Uma?
For Uma Thurman. Yeah.
Fantastic. I love that movie. Yep. My next one, I'm going to go Stripes.
Yeah.
And I think Stripes is, along with Meatballs, you could almost suggest that Meatballs and Stripes exist in the same universe because Jeff Winger could probably, exactly. So he could definitely be that guy in Meatballs, and then just years later, I need to go. What did I say, Winger?
Winger in Stripes.
Yeah.
But he's Tripper in Meatballs.
He's Tripper in Meatballs, but he could have been like the same guy.
It's the same.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah. It's his embracing of these sort of lovable losers you're able to elevate them to, almost, this weird sort of, anti-hero kind of thing. So, it's Stripes is great. It definitely holds up.
I love it.
I've watched it within the last maybe year or so.
Oh, me too.
And it works. It still holds up.
Harold Ramis, by the way, at that time, late 70s, early 80s, he looked like my brother Stinky did in the late 70s, early 80s. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
So, so Stripes would be my other one. It's really funny. There's broad humor. There's very little subtle humor in it.
Exactly.
And it's great. It's great. And then I got to go. I also have to go into to Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
Ghostbusters was, man, what a summer that was.
Yeah.
Oh, when that came out, it was huge. And again, he sort of grabs this and like the same way Tarantino has like, Uma Thurman and, Feet as his muse. I think Ivan Reitman for a while there, like Bill Murray was his guy,
Oh, yeah.
So, to take another situation where you've got this band of lovable losers and they come together and they do their thing, win the day kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it's great. And like you said, it's a bigger movie. It's special effects. You've got smaller roles taken by. You've got Rick Moranis and Sigourney Weaver in that movie.
Exactly.
Sometimes you forget. It's just like, oh yeah, that's right. He's in there. He's so good.
Yeah, it's like a whole other little bit of the movie.
Right.
There,
Yeah.
right?
There's this whole other thing going on with him. And but yeah, that would be my other one. And that's one of those movies, actually, that as we're kind of going through this, that made me kind of think about that question. That a movie that,
if you tweak something.
If you tweak something. So you could, this is going to be my segue into the question.
Sure. Go for it.
If you tweak Ghostbusters just a little bit and make it just a little bit more serious, because that first scene in the beginning where there's a ghost in the library, and it's all kind of like eerie and spooky and stuff like that. When I showed this movie to my kids, my youngest, Lily at the time, was like, nope, fuck no, I'm out. Because it was just too scary. So, but yeah, if you tweak that movie a little bit, you could make that into a real dark, scary movie.
Yeah.
And on the flip side, Saw could be hilarious. So. But yeah,
I kind of thought it was.
Right.
Saw and those Hostel movies, I thought they were.
Right, yeah. So yeah, that would be a movie for me that if you tweak just a little bit, turn off the comedy, dial up the weird, and dial up the scary, Ghostbusters could be a pretty scary movie.
It's funny, when you asked the question, I was thinking, I'm trying to, think of some movies, and then I started thinking more so of movies that, are both. They play it down the middle. They can be very scary, but there's this humor laced all through it. Or it's comedy and they've got horror laced all through it.
Cable Guy. Remember that movie, Cable Guy?
Yeah.
It was really kind of funny. Then it got really dark. It's just like, what is happening here?
I was thinking of American Werewolf in London.
Okay.
Which it's very funny, but it's also dark. There's this
Would you say that's
going on.
Would you say that's a funny movie that's dark, or a darker movie?
I think it's a dark movie that has humor. And then Beetlejuice is another one. You could go one way or the other.
Be terrifying.
And then Shaun of the Dead. Same thing. You could go one way too much or the other way too much. But I think
that's one of those things where, because you've seen a million zombie movies, but this is one of those, it's just like...
I got it.
And I'm not a big fan of zombie movies.
Tongue firmly planted in cheek.
Exactly. It's just like, oh, you know what? Let's make this
you know something? I'm not crazy about zombie movies, but I'll watch Shaun of the Dead anytime. That's funny.
But it's great, though, because it follows all the rules. The stakes are super high, and it gets really, really tense. And then by the end of it, it's just like, oh, it's his pet.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's great. So yeah, their Nightmare on Elm Street could be hilarious.
It could be.
Yeah, like the way when they did a few more of them. When Freddy got to be really like, oh my God, Freddy, man, it's hilarious.
Yeah,
Freddie Krueger's a really funny guy.
See, like Freddy has humor written into him. Like Jason from Friday the 13th or whatever.
Yeah. Michael Myers from Halloween. Like there's
Halloween. There's no humor there.
Yeah.
That's just
comes off at the mask.
Yeah. Exactly. Another one, which is
cut it out.
Which is
get it?
Which is all comedy within the trappings and the settings of horror is Young Frankenstein,
Oh, yeah.
which is a lot more comedy, and then it just kind of plays homage to, 30s horror.
But it's interesting. But like it's the 30s horror stuff. I don't think was really scary.
Maybe at the time.
Maybe
scarier.
at the time it was.
Maybe I don't know. But a lot of those 30 horrors are actually based on 19th century novels, and trying to bring them to life. So I guess
the
it's scary
19th
in a
century
way.
itself, I'm sure, was scary in its own way.
Exactly. No TV, damn
Right,
it!
seriously. God, internet was so slow. Anyway, so that's
question.
Funny.
But
That's good stuff.
there's a lot of genres. If you think about it, there's a little grafting of two different.
Yeah,
parts
if you find
together.
that balance, then
Yeah.
you do a good job with it. So
Yeah.
So, all right.
Very
Hey, who
good.
do we want to talk about next time?
I don't know who we're going to talk about, but I'll tell you who I want to talk about: Ethan Hawke.
Ethan Hawke, and oh my God, it's Ethan Hawke.
Ethan Hawke Jr. There's an Ethan Hawke Jr.
Is there Ethan Hawke?
I have no idea.
Did they let him procreate?
Spawn?
Or
I don't know.
recreate?
Oh,
or-
already. I'm always excited.
All
Well,
right, we're always excited.
pretty much.
Yeah, it could be fun. All right, so yeah, everybody. Hey, thanks for hanging out with us for another little bit. Check out the podcast if you want to hear about this stuff at the gym or while you're driving along. And I guess that's all I realize. I
if you're
ramble
stuck
on
in
my
traffic.
way. So like and subscribe if you would. That helps us out quite a bit. We got merch, so check that out. The little thing at the end. Helps out. Thanks so much. See ya.
Bye bye.